As I said, to put the sightseeing city tour onto tomorrow, because there's a few things I would like to talk about today regarding the podcast. I forgot to talk about that rather on Sunday. So I want to talk about that first. Make something out of this. The greatest year to ever be alive in the history of mankind. Let's go. Put up my old table plate right here for someone to take with them if they want it, because I don't need it anymore and I can't get it sold. And someone took up the chairs. That's a really good idea. And I remember that when I was in Finland, how I had to dress up like in 2 or 3 layers to just get to the gym, which was like 600 meters away, because it used to be minus 25 degrees, and now it's now it's like 20 degrees in the morning when it's 8 in the morning. That over there is the gym.
My name is Daniel Lugo, and I believe in fitness.
So today, I just remembered this. I just had it on my schedule that today at 12 we have another meeting for the Valiant Voices session that's taking place next week. Tomorrow there's not going to be a session, but next week there's going to be another Valiant Voices session before we have the Pentecost break. And this time we're going to be talking about the conclusion and also analyze various speeches. So I'm meeting Janine at 12. The question of the day for you, if you had a superpower, which one would it be? I think for me would be to be able to control the time, because I'm kind of obsessed with time. You know, but it's also a cool thing would also be to be able to clone yourself. I mean, but it would also be cool to be able to teleport things. Like, for example, if I wanted to have breakfast right now, snap like this, for example, you know? Snap with your fingers and the breakfast is there. Let me know anyways, question of the day, if you had a superpower, which one would it be? I'm thrilled to hear your ideas, and what would you do with it? What would be the very first thing you did if you had it? I would like to talk about the podcast I uploaded yesterday. That is the one that talks about Alexander Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago.
And what Solzhenitsyn reminds us, and the story reminds us, is that this inclusion, it constructs its own worlds, even though we might not be used to the conditions they found themselves in the 1940s, 1920s, in multiple decades of torture, interrogation, and all-out warfare on the human race. We feel like we've lived through it. We feel like we lived through it with him because he addresses us, the reader, directly. Without even asking for our permission. He demands our attention because that's what he is rightfully doing so, because we need to hear this.
And it's very important to me to discuss this topic, because it's a book that has greatly impacted how I view history in general. It clearly demands from us that we shouldn't read history as some sort of a saint, but rather the perpetrator who's perfectly able to commit the deeds that are committed in this book and that are committed during the cruel and dark times of history. The way he tells the story is like he's having a conversation with us. Unlike Frankl, for example, in his Man's Search for Meaning, who, let's say, narrates the events with some sort of a chronology and really sticks close to his own story, Solzhenitsyn uses the richness and the abundance of stories that he was sent during the writing of this book. He uses all these stories to feel like we're sitting in a cafe with him. Like he's telling us every single minuscule detail of the darkness that has happened during these events, during these horrible, almost 50 years this book spans across. It's so important to study history to understand what we are capable of as human beings, and that right now we live in an age where this is the greatest year, the greatest time to ever be alive in the history of mankind. And so the importance of studying history lies within the root of understanding what we are capable of as human beings, and that times were a lot darker and a lot more cruel and relentless and reckless. And that still there were people like Solzhenitsyn, there were people like Frankl who were able to come out of the other side, with the spark of hope, of gratitude, and of honesty deeply ingrained in their chest. Some people on the right as well as on the left seem to have forgotten the memo that extremism on the right as well as on the left doesn't really lead to any success. Yeah, that's just a quick advertisement for the podcast I uploaded. It's episode 20. You can find that on the first link in the description. Give it a listen. It's a short listen compared to the other podcasts. I think it's around 30 to 40 minutes. And you can do it just while you're commuting, while you're on a run, while you're working out. Do it whatever you want to do it. But I highly recommend you look into it. And I really appreciate also your feedback regarding the podcast. Since we're back to daily content, it would be helpful for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos. And also ring the bell. Otherwise, so your phone buzzes right away when the video goes up. And yeah, that's it for today's vlog. I have to go back to writing the bachelor's thesis now. I want to be done with it soon. And tomorrow we're going to be doing the sightseeing tour through the city of Tübingen after university. And I'll be seeing you guys. You guys will be coming with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.